Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Jason, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at The Witcher 3. So, I know this is a super late review. Like 5 years too late, right? Came out 2015, I believe. So, as the title says, playing The Witcher 3 5 years later. Little backstory before we get into the review. So, I originally got this game, not the year that it came out. I think I got it in 2016, because I've had this game for a long time and it's just been sitting around and I've never finished it, right? And so, I got it 2016, I want to say, and I played it up until I was in Skellige, and all I know is that I didn't do the Battle of Kaer Morhen, right? So I got probably, I want to say maybe halfway. I think when you finally get to Skellige, it's probably about half. I could be wrong. But for some reason, I didn't finish playing it. I don't know if another game came out, and I just, for some reason, never picked it back up. I did enjoy the game. I had lots of fun playing it. But yeah, just for some reason, never picked it up. Well, fast forward to this year, 2020, or actually, I guess 2019. I knew that the Witcher TV show was coming to Netflix, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm super excited. Like, I like the Witcher game. And then I was like, you know what? I should probably finish the game, right? And I did a little bit of research because I didn't know, I thought it was going to be based, I didn't know that there was books, right? I did a little bit of research, found out that the games take place after the books, but the TV show is based off the book. First book, The Last Wish, and I believe Sword of Destiny. I think it's kind of those two bits and parts of both of those stories. And so I started reading the books. I read, right now I'm on Time of Contempt. I've been doing audiobooks a lot, and it says I got about an hour left. So I'm super close to finishing Time of Contempt, which is basically the second book, technically, but there's the Last Wish, Sword of Destiny, and Season of Storms are all kind of like prequel books. And then there's the first one, which is Blood of Elves, and then Time of Contempt. So I've technically read like 5 books already, but it's only number 2 in this series, if you get what I mean. So I finished the books, or up to that point, and then watched the TV show. I thought the TV show was great. It's not a review about that. And then I was like, you know what? I need to finish the game. Like, CD Projekt Red is coming out with Cyberpunk 2077. And that game looked super fun to me. I still have not yet purchased it yet because I really wanted to beat The Witcher first. But yeah, like I said, I really wanted to get the game, but I kind of felt like I needed to play their other game before I picked up their newest one. So I started playing The Witcher again. Took me a minute to kind of get my bearings and figure out how things work. But man, like the story, oh my gosh, it is so freaking good. I freaking loved it so much. I had to do like a little bit of recap. Basically, the first little bit of the game, I was doing a lot of side missions, obviously still progressing the story, but like I said before, I never actually made it to the Battle of Kaer Morhen back in 2016. I picked it up, and it was probably about an hour, 2 hours after picking it up that I got to the Battle of Kaer Morhen. Probably a little bit longer than that because I'm a little OCD when it comes to games. When you see stuff in the map that are question marks, I have to figure it out. So basically, all of White Orchard is complete. All of Novigrad is complete. All of basically everything but Skellige is complete. And that's just because the island type areas, there's just a lot of freaking barrels in the ocean, and it was taking forever, and I was like, you know what, let's just go with the story. We'll come back to it at the end of the game. So basically all of them is complete except for Skellige, and I think I'm saying that right, Skellige. But yeah, man, once you got to the Battle of Kaemorn, game was fire, man. Up until the point like where you're lurking, searching for Ciri. You go to like this mysterious island, and she's in a house, and all the dwarves are watching her, and it gave me some like Snow White vibes. Like she's in there, and there's like a bunch of dwarves come out, and one of them that you have to find is really sleepy, and so I don't know if that was a nod to Snow White or not, but that's what it made me think of. But basically, you go in there, and there's no dialogue once Geralt goes in because you think that Ciri is dead. Oh, and I guess these are kind of spoilers, but the game's 5 years old, so if I'm spoiling it for you, I'm sorry. But not really. But yeah, you go in and you see Ciri there, and like you could just see the heartbreak on Geralt's face, and I was like, oh man, dude. I mean, I know Ciri's not dead because obviously Battle of Kaemorn has not happened yet, and I knew that was going to happen. But then she comes back to life with the light thing that the elf dude gives you, and just this look on her face. Oh man, it was a very powerful moment without any dialogue. That's just good storytelling. It's good animation, good everything. Oh man, dude, I can go on and on about the story. It was so good. Battle of Kaemorn was freaking epic. I loved the Battle of Kaemorn. It was a lot of fun. A lot of the characters were really awesome. Kind of some things going off of the story, because we'll get back to the story. But the combat, I thought, was it was all right. It wasn't like anything I would say like mind blowing, but it worked perfect for what it was. I really enjoyed it. I liked the swords. You have a steel sword for humanoid type enemies, and then basically the silver sword is for monsters. And you can tell the difference because if you're fighting a monster and it has a silver health bar, that means you got to use your silver sword. So that was really cool. The magic was really simple. It was a little bit confusing at first to kind of remember which signs did which, but definitely by the time I got to the Battle of Kaemorn, I had mastered it and I knew where everything was. That was great. I used probably the I'm forgetting the names, but I know what they do. Like I used the fire, which I want to say is Igni. I used that one probably the most out of all the signs, and then I want to say Ard is the one that you can like mind control people. I had that skill tree maxed out, man. Came in handy a lot. Mind controlling people worked out perfect. Even some of the enemies you can stun for like 30 seconds and just whack on them until they friggin' die. That was fun. I loved fighting all the beasts that you can find throughout the map. Like it's open world. You can literally go anywhere you want for the most part, unless, there's story locked areas that like you can't get into like a certain town until you progress that far in the story. But for the most part, everything is open world and you can go anywhere and you can find beasts to fight. And so that was a whole lot of fun. I looked at the bestiary more than I thought I would have, because typically when games put like a bunch of like informational type stuff that makes you do a lot of reading, I skip it. I don't look at it. I don't really care too much for it. It's good information, but like when it's like a big list of things, just information, it's like, thanks for the homework. But it was not like that with The Witcher. Witcher can give you like a description about the enemy or beast that you're fighting, but right under the picture of the beast, it has like potions or bombs that you can use, and then which sign works best against them. So it's very simple. Had a lot of fun. Another thing that I didn't quite like was some of the cosmetic options. You find a lot of like armors and swords and boots, chest piece armors, all that kind of stuff, and I pretty much hated all of it. I really wish that the starting armor that you came with, the Kaemorn armor, was more upgradable. Even upgraded, it didn't do. I want to say that it maxes out at. I don't even know. It just wasn't like the stats and stuff weren't very good. I ended up using like this Skellige blue type armor that was maxed all the way out, and it wasn't the best either. And I tended to choose things that I thought looked cooler rather than things that had better stats, because some of the stuff that had way better stats than what I was wearing, I just thought were ugly. So I didn't wear them. I decided to look cool and just tank the damage anyway. Yeah, going back, man, to the story. This is storytelling at one of its best, man. Like, freaking the whole thing with the Wild Hunt was basically like a mystery the whole game. I didn't really know who the Wild Hunt was. You see him every now and then as you go throughout the story, but you know, once you hit Camoran, and then that fight at the end was awesome. None of the boss battles were actually particularly hard at all. Once they have like a few like little gimmicks, and once you kind of figure out what their gimmick is, it becomes fairly easy. You just got to keep on it. Like, for example, fighting, I want to say his name was Erden, aka the Wild Hunt. You would smack him a few times, and then he would teleport right behind you. And so basically all I would do is I'd hit him 3 times, basically turn around and roll into him, because then he would miss, and he has like a 3-hit combo animation, and you'd roll right past it, you know, cast Igni, smack him a few times, and that is basically rinse and repeat. So nothing too difficult or crazy. It was pretty simple. But the whole story about getting Ciri and her powers was just crazy. Dang, and then freaking Vizimir dies, man. Oh my gosh. That was sad. It was epic. And I'm just still mind blown that Vizimir dies. Like, for real? It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I thought they did it very well. And just the storytelling, I just keep going on and on about the story, man. The story was so good. I just can't even explain it enough, man. And then at the end, like when Ciri is trying to stop the White Frost from destroying the world, which eventually it will, I totally thought she dies. Like, she has like these flashbacks of the time that she spent with Geralt, like decisions that I made in the game. And I think they were good ones. I don't know if some of them were bad. I tried not to look up anything because I didn't want to spoil it. I wanted to... I knew that there's 3 endings going into the game. I've heard that, and I kind of knew what the endings were, but it didn't look up how you got each ending, mainly because I wanted to see what I got based on my own decisions, not decisions that were basically told to me. And so I thought Ciri was dead, and turns out she's not. So the ending that I got was Ciri becomes a Witcher. I don't know exactly all the steps that you take particularly to make sure she becomes a Witcher. But yeah, I totally thought she was dead, and then Geralt gets the sword made, and I chose it to say the swallow on it for the bird. That was her sign, and I thought he had made this new silver sword for him in memory of Ciri because she was dead, and I was just like, oh man. And Geralt just didn't seem that sad, and I was like, dude, what is going on? Ciri's dead. And then you go to the bar at the end, or the inn, and she's totally not dead. She's a Witcher. She's getting contracts for you. She hands Geralt a sack of money and said like something about taking out a cockatrice or something like that. And yeah, she becomes a Witcher, which is freaking awesome. And basically, she goes off to become a Witcher. And then I know there's like a few romance options in the game. I know the big 2 is between Yennefer and Triss. I chose to go with Yennefer as of right now in the books. And I know the games are a little bit different, but Triss hasn't really played a major role thus far in my readings, other than a few times at Kaer Morhen when she's training Ciri. So I didn't really know Triss as much, but from the books and the TV show, you know, I thought Yennefer was a better choice. And basically I ended with Geralt living happily ever after. They go off to some place to live out the rest of their lives, and they said like basically lay around and do nothing and happily ever after. So man, The Witcher 3, easily in my top 3 favorite games of all time ever. Like, I enjoyed this game so much. The story was great. The beasts that you fight were fantastic. Gameplay was fantastic. My overall rating for this game, easily 10 out of 10 for me, and I haven't given very many games 10 out of 10. I freaking love this game, and I will definitely be going through on another playthrough. I want to try to get all 3 endings. I didn't get all 3 endings. I know there's at least 2 others that I know of, and I'll try to get those 2. But man, I love this game. If you guys haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. It is a bit long, and I think that was another thing that hurt a lot of players, is that the campaign, just like the story part, was a very long story. I just looked at it, and I ended the game at 100 and, what was it? It was like 135 hours total from this game, and I haven't even completed all the side quests or anything yet, which I plan to do. I don't know if I'll get the platinum for it. There's like 1,000 freaking trophies for this game, so we'll see. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning into my review. If you guys have played The Witcher, let me know what you guys thought. Was it a 10 out of 10 for you guys? It was for me, and I just can't stop thinking about it. I'm probably going to go and play it right after this video. If you guys enjoyed the content, please consider being a subscriber. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for the support that you guys have been showing me. I'm trying to get 200 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you guys enjoyed the content, please help out the channel and be a subscriber. If you guys are already a subscriber, you guys are freaking awesome. Thank you for the support. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.